Well, can you walk us through finding out about the trade and how you're coming here?
Yeah, I'll keep it as pacey as possible. It was tough. I think when you spend that long at a club, and you don't get the chance to have the conversation about what your future looks like, it's tough when you find out that kind of news. So there were definitely a lot of emotions initially. I think when Cass and I both got off the call, my first reaction was to cry, because you don't really know how else to take that kind of news. And then you kind of go through the process of it. Okay, what does it mean? What do I have to do? It's immediate, like, what do I have to do? How do I move on from this? And we just went into logistics mode. How do we get things sorted? Because we had a house in North Carolina and we kind of planned to spend a long part of our future with that club. So it was logistics and it was just head down. And I think as we were going through that process, it was trying to deal with the emotion of, it's sad, but we're moving on and we're excited. And how do we grasp this new opportunity? But how do we also say thank you to the people that helped us in North Carolina? So you've got these roller coaster of emotions going through, while also trying to be really practical and reasonable about what's going on and how you get things done. So the only way I can really describe that is just an absolute roller coaster for about a week. I was still in New Zealand when I found out. And then we learned that the team here is starting the Monday before I get back. So it's just, you want to get with the team and you don't want to be that player that turns up late and, you're just trying to get everything done. So it was very, very stressful. But now that everything's sorted and that we're here, we've met everybody, we're really excited. Had our first training session today. So that was really nice to be around the girls and be amongst the team and meet people. So I think the sadness has gone and, we've given the thanks to the people that have helped us. So we're ready to move forward and see what we can do with this team.
So are you feeling positive now that you're kind of on the other side of it?
Yeah.
Emotions are still there.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. No, I think we were always positive about what I think we could do at the club. And we were really excited about the opportunity. I think with both of our experience levels, we think we can bring a lot to the club and help some of the younger players coming through. We know that the club's been through a bit of a rebuilding phase the past couple of years, and they're kind of coming on the other side of that. So I'm excited to help with that. And I think, we just want to get into it. I think soccer is kind of the place where you can just let go of those emotions and forget about everything and forget about what's going on and just meet people and get on with those things. So that's kind of what we want to do. So excited for that.
And Racing has never beaten the Courage. So are you?
A lot of teams have never beaten the Courage.
Yeah,
I know.
In changing that now.
Yeah, I think obviously playing that first game, it's always going to be tough, and I know it's been tough for other players as well. And obviously leading that team for so long, on the other side of that, walking out, against those players, there are going to be emotions. I think denying that is just going to be detrimental. So I think acknowledging that that's going to be an emotional game for me. If I can acknowledge that now and get rid of those emotions now and deal with that now openly, it'll be easier for me to play and perform. But I'll be nervous. There's no doubt about it. It'll be a tough game, but at the same time, do I want to beat them? 100%.
For you guys, what were your, impressions of Louisville from afar, either from playing against Racing or just knowing people who had been here?
I actually didn't know a lot about Racing. I when you're in other teams, you just don't pay attention to other teams as much as you would if you were there. So I didn't have a lot of knowledge. Already being here, I've said to about 3 or 4 people, why do we not know about the facilities? Because they're absolutely amazing. I've never been to a club that just have facilities that are so great. So already I'm impressed by what's going on here, and even meeting people, everybody's so nice, talking so much about the city and how fun it is. The girls have been absolutely incredible, so nice. I'm just ready to go out and play with them and build those team bonds that you kind of build playing and training. But yeah, I love it. I didn't know a lot about it before, but I'm excited to learn more and get integrated into the community and meet everybody and have fun.
You mentioned the experience that you and Carson bring. This was a team that lost Gemma from last year, who was one of the captains, has a few players who are experienced here, but it is still a pretty young group as a whole. How do you go about, is it a leading by example thing, or do you come in and say, look, this is what we've accomplished, and if you can kind of follow this lead, we can try and get you there?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, but I think you kind of understand that once you're in the team. I don't think you can go into a team and say, this is what I'm going to do, because I think that might not work for this team. So I think being with the team, training with the team, being around the girls and the coaching staff, understanding what they like. You have to remember that I'm a newcomer. I haven't been established here, so I'm not going to come in and be like, this is what we do and this is what I've done. And, you have to integrate into the team that fits their style and their culture as well. And I think the coaches have had a look at that and thought that we would fit that culture. So that's nice. But I think I'll just take it day by day, see what the girls like and see what I can add rather than coming in and saying, this is how we should do things. It's going to be, how can I add to what they're already doing?
On the field, how would you describe like the communication between you and Carson, like the chemistry you have, obviously off the field? That's well documented, but you play together for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something the back line was kind of missing for Racing last year. How does that help the back line?
Yeah. Carson and I think from the start, we have a very similar way of viewing the game, and we have a very similar style in that we like to play. We don't like to not have the ball, which is, I know it's different for defenders, but we like to play and we like to move the ball and get touches on the ball and be involved a lot. And we've kind of just had a seamless communication with that. We actually don't have to talk a lot on the field. I find that we intuitively just know what each other is going to do because we see the same thing. So that's been really nice. I don't actually have to talk to her a lot, except for, when I'm yelling at her to get back and defend a little bit more. She does like to go forward, but it's been seamless. So I'm hoping that, I don't have to focus so much on her. I can just help everybody else and get integrated with them and find out again what they like and what they prefer, and just kind of work our communication styles together and hopefully help the backline a little bit.
Pivotal years for this league. Just looking at a big picture, coming off of what it's gone through the last year and kind of getting this kind of I wouldn't say new start, but just to get past some of the negative news and to kind of put on the show again. How big a year is this for the NWSL?
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. I think at almost every single club. So that's been sad. It's been sad, especially because North Carolina was involved in that. I was heavily involved in that as well. So that's been tough. And you kind of want to move on as fast as possible, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge that those things have happened, and we have to take the time to make sure that logistically, if these things do happen in the future, the systems will be in place to deal with it efficiently. And that obviously hasn't been the case previously. So I think, it has taken a couple of years, and it is at a point where players you get a bit tired of it, but at the same time, you have to be aware that what we're doing is we're building a better future for the players that are coming, and keeping that in the back of your mind, that's really important. I think this year might be one of the first years where hopefully we don't have any of that drama coming up, and it's been dealt with, and we can move on as a league, and individual teams can move on. So I think that's important. I think for me, obviously coming to Racing from North Carolina, it's a fresh start for me as well. So, I'm positive about the year, but yeah, it is important. I think, some of the CBA work that the PA have done has been phenomenal. I've experienced that firsthand, having to move and using some of those resources. So that's been really, really helpful as well. So I think, for the betterment of the mental health of players and for the welfare of the league, it's been tough. But, this year I think is one of the years that we won't see as much drama.
How much did you know about Kim and his coaching style before joining the club?
Absolutely none. I didn't know anything. I've met him a couple of times. We've had a Zoom call. When I met him yesterday and had a bit of a chat. So he seems like a really chill guy. Being from New Zealand, I'm quite chill, so that suits me, and I think we're going to have a good relationship moving forward. But Carson's worked with him before, so I've heard a little bit about him and what he kind of likes, and from some of the conversations that I've had, I think that his style of play and his vision for the game is aligned with how I see the game as well. So I think it's going to be a good relationship moving forward. Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Abby.